Let's see. Aha, now we're live. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarths Global Astrology. And you will see this evening, well, actually for you guys actually on the Pacific Coast, it's the afternoon, but it is wonderful to have Kevin back, the healing medium. It's been a little while, hasn't it? I think, when did we last collab?
Oh
I
my
can't
goodness.
remember. I think it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Oh, longer. I think it may have been longer than that. It's
Goodness.
been a while. It
What
might
is time anyways?
Exactly. Particularly as well when I have like follow-ups with clients and stuff like that, I always think that whenever I see them again, that it's been maybe 5 months, 6 months, and they say, it was last year. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
So as you know, for people like us, Kevin, linear time, never really kind of strictly applies. I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so true.
Brilliant. So before we begin, can you just give us a little update? What have you been up to? What's been going on for you? Because I've not seen you in a while.
Yeah, the usual. So a little less of the YouTube actually, which is interesting, but more and more readings, which is, it's funny. I saw a friend and they were doing this post, and it's about sometimes a story or assumptions that we think people know about us. And it got me thinking, and it was on the car ride home, and I was thinking, I don't know sometimes if people actually know how much of my time is spent doing readings. And sometimes people go like, oh, they'll even question, do you do readings? And it's like, well, of course I do. So it's interesting. So as far as the time, I've been spending a lot of time doing that. As well, I've been working with actually that friend that made that post, interesting enough, doing lots of group day retreats. And so combining, and she's a conscious connective breathwork facilitator and somatic healer. And then I bring my healing and my mediumship and psychic ability. And we've created this day retreat. We're going on to do the fourth one, and they are spectacular.
Wow, don't.
Yeah, so it's good.
Wow,
it's good to be back in person with people. That's something that I realized. I didn't realize how much I missed it until stepping back into it and being in that circle and community. I mean, fills me up. So that's what's been going on. And one more thing, which I thought was so interesting, I got this hit around. It was probably about 4 months ago, around the Akashic Records. And I've always been somewhat interested, didn't know a lot about it, didn't know if I was unknowingly working with the records or not. All of that to say, I'm taking class with a brilliant teacher out of New Zealand. Her name is Chris Williams, or Chris Wilson, pardon me. And it's phenomenal. I just finished my level 2, and I'll just finish the 3rd, which is the practitioner certification, and it working into my readings and my healings, next level. So, yeah.
Interessante. Oh, I might have to book myself in, Kevin. Actually,
that'd be awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
New powers.
Yeah, totally. And how about you? What's going on with you?
Oh, it's been busy because I've been doing the usual as well. Of course, my YouTubes, client consultations as well, plus some travel. But then I've just also as well, I've finished my first astrology book. So I finished the first draft literally a couple of days ago. So I've had to throw basically anything extraneous things have just had to been thrown under the bus, folks. So some of you may have sent me an email months ago, maybe asking about consultations and stuff like that. If you didn't just book directly, I probably have not got back to you. I'm so sorry, because as you know, we're very busy with our stuff, and when it comes to books, they are all consuming. So but the baby's out now. The baby's out in the swaddling, and I'm now doing my final read through edit, just changing tiny little things, and then I'm going to put it out to those people that have expressed an interest in proofreading it, and then from there I'll take it to the next stage. But do you get any flavors, any hits? You were going to tell me something.
I mean, that's interesting. So I heard.
Oh no, you're back. You're back.
I think you're buffering, or is it me? Because it seems like maybe.
Oh wait, just wait 1 second. Did you see the hamster wheel stuff that happened there? Maybe the energy just went up quite a bit. Yeah, do you want to try again?
Okay, can you hear me?
Are you good? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, I think maybe the energy just went up a notch. Sometimes that can affect things. So
yeah.
What were you going to say before we got hamster wheel?
So I heard second edition, and I was like, give me, like, what do you mean second edition of this book? And it was almost like, not almost, it was like a workbook component to it. And so I don't know if that's actually in the book itself, or if that's to come in like a second edition where there's something that is interactive for the people reading it. So workbook. I don't know. I'm throwing that out there. You'll have to let us know. And he's freezing.
Do you know, I think I know what that is. I think I know what that is. Isn't it funny? Oh, now I'm getting the hamster wheel. Do you see? All the energies are high. Okay, we're going to have to change the subject soon, folks, because obviously the energy's high. The book that I've just written will be the paperback, yeah. But there is another book which I've called the Book of Power, which is basically like a bejeweled pop-up book of the book that I've written now. So that would be book 2, which really kind of already exists, but I had to finish book 1 first. So there are 2 books. There are 2 books.
This is what I wrote. So I wrote the second edition. I wrote the workbook, and then with a focus on the cover. But there's something when the launch of the second one, let's call it the second edition, the second book, there's some workbook potential component to it as well. And look at the energy. The energy is like, we're not going to tell them all this right now.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Can you see? We're going to have to change the subject, folks, because otherwise we're not going to be able to get through the show. Too much energy there. Internet. Well. And just so you know, indeed. And just so you guys know in advance, if we do kind of chop out, you can see already just that conversation alone was, making something go with the energy. So we'll get on with the show. If we do have some technical difficulties, stick with it. But sometimes that's where the energy can be. All right, Kevin, let's begin. Normally I would.
Well, I think we're delayed, but let me just say it's going to be extremely well received. It's going to be extremely well received, better than you even could have planned for, and that's a for certain. And I remember saying that when we actually talked about the cover, and that's still there. It's going to be, good for you. I'll get a signed copy.
Thank you. Yes, of course. Yeah, you, Linda, Lena, thank you. We'll have to see. But let's change the subject, otherwise the energy will just interfere again. There we go. In a way, that in itself says quite a lot, doesn't it? We talk about the book and then it all starts going a bit funny. So are we ready for the first question?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
So what we're going to be doing this evening, folks, we'll be doing a combination. We'll answer some personal questions where we can, and we'll also, of course, do some of the political questions as well. So I thought we'd start out with a personal question here. I wasn't able to print in my usual way, so I've got the questions up on my mobile phone, and I put the airplane mode on so it doesn't interfere with stuff. So let's see here. There's a question about supermoons, but we'll do that after this question here. There's one about Long Beach murders, and that's a little bit grim, that one. So maybe we might do that one. Let's see. 1 second. Where's someone? Oh, here we are. For the rest of the year. There was someone who was asking about, they were asking about their music career.
Oh.
Well, here we are. And let me just see here if I can get this one. One moment. Let me just see here. So this is coming from, and this is a question about someone whose mother's passed. So this is at Shah J4615. And they said, today would have been my mother Margaret's birthday. She passed on February 2022. My sister Mary also passed in April of this year, unexpectedly. So sorry to hear about that. Do either of them have a message for me? So did you get that question? My internet's a little bit choppy. Did you get that?
Yeah, I think you've completely frozen. So I don't know.
Wow. Oh. I'm getting this message.
There, you've come back. You've come back.
You know what I think it might be? It could be the blended audience.
Oh, maybe.
I think that's what it might be, because I remember when Linda G was on the show, we had the blended audience as well, and my computer crashed. So maybe that's part of it.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if it is. Okay.
Shall I repeat the question? I'll just repeat it. So at Shah J4615, today would have been my mother Margaret's birthday. She passed in February 2022. My sister Mary also passed in April of this year, unexpectedly. Do either of them have a message for me? So I'll hand this one over to you, of course.
Instantly, it's so interesting. This card kind of fell out of the deck and I was shuffling it, but it's the heart card. So healing of the heart. And they're saying about the hearts, watch for them as one of the signs. And it doesn't, I feel like we need more time to differentiate between the two of them. I feel aware of both of them. I don't know if it's the head and the heart, one or the other, to differentiate between, the head and the heart for one. So I've got a pain in my head and I'm aware of my heart, but watch for the hearts as a sign. And I think that's more of mom showing you the hearts. And it's interesting about the writing, where we were talking about the writing. I don't know if you're the writer or someone around you is also the writer, but continue your writing. I think it's you. I think I can't remember what you said the name of this person is, but I think it's you, to be in your writing, creative. And it feels like you've stepped away from it. You've thought about going back into it. It's like, it's interesting. Yeah, needing direction. So that to me is just around that energy of, if it's not specifically writing, that creative outlet for you is there. And another birthday is about to happen, because they're handing you a birthday cake. I don't know if it's yours or someone close in your circle, but a birthday coming up. So happy early birthday. Happy birthday for today, for, I think you said it was Marg, and a hit on that.
Her mother's called Margaret. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. It's always such a different vibe, with you, Kevin. Yep. What do you have?
It's interesting. So just one more around that writing. It's the sacred covenant. And so there is something on that. Perhaps it's in your spiritual endeavors and that deeper understanding. If you have ever been in the consideration of channeling or automatic writing or inspired writing, it doesn't matter about the terminology, they're saying, just be in that flow. So a big creative nudge for you. Yeah.
Okay, I'll share my cards in a second, and I'll just click up on some of the comments here. And let's see, hopefully it's going to do it quickly.
That's interesting.
Maybe not. So Gladys has said, everyone is having problems this week with freezing and buffering. We can talk about that as well. We're having a lot of planets starting to turn retrograde in the sky. So even though Mercury retrograde doesn't start until August 23rd, there is a lot of pulling back energies. So I think that is quite interesting. And then Linda writes, that's right, Hogarth, just blame us. Because that was the...
Thanks, Linda. That's awesome.
Oh, bless that's a funny one. Well, and thank you guys as well so much for you joining us here as well. All right, so in regards to my cards, the cards I've got here are actually quite dramatic.
Oh.
Quite dramatic cards, but you know, sometimes that happens with me when I pull the cards. So in regards to this, so again, just to refresh, Margaret's birthday, she passed on February 22nd, February 2022. My sister Mary also passed in April of this year. Bless you. I mean, that's really difficult, unexpected. Do either of them have a message for me? So I'm just going to say what I see. Yeah. So Char J4615, I'm just going to say what I see. So the card that I get here, I get the Page of Swords, and pages are always about messages. Yeah, pages are always about messages and stuff like that. But also as well, the sword suit has a lot to do with the intellect and the mind. The Page of Swords can also make a reference to a writer or writing as well. Stuff like that. Isn't that interesting? So if you can let us know in the comments how this is relevant for you, but there's definitely something here to do with messages and communication and stuff like that. So maybe the loved ones are trying to highlight the writing, because if Kevin got that and then I've got one of the cards which is associated with that, blogs, emails, text messages, you know, things like that. Now here, the next card I get is the Tower. And this is turning up in the obstacle position. Now the Tower, we know it's a dramatic card, and it can mean sudden events that are out of one's control, etc., and stuff like that. However, the Tower can also mean change. So when I look at this card and the cards that come afterwards, the message that I sense coming through from the mother and the sister could be that maybe you need to change things up in your life. Yeah, because when we look here, the middle card is quite a serious one. Look, it's the Devil. Oh, now what's this about? Now the Devil card can deal with being attached to things, maybe not being in control of one's impulses. This can also deal with things like codependency, or you know, just maybe feeling down in the blues, unsure, maybe feeling stuck in some ways. So when we look at this, if this is something to do with communication and changing things up, maybe it's to break some kind of thought forms or emotional habits, particularly as well when we look at the next card here. I know all these joyful cards, but I've just got to say what I see. And if we look here, we've got this, we've got the Three of Swords. So this is talking about heartache and the emotions. Mm-hmm. So clearly this person is very much missing their mother and their sister, which of course is completely understandable. But there seems to be a bit of a message here that maybe you might need to make a change. Maybe there's some way that the person might be stuck a bit, or maybe chained to the emotions of the past, you know, which will be understandable. And now it's about making choices, yeah, or trying to make clear-headed choices. The shadow of this card can deal with illusions and delusions and stuff like that. But this card also means choice, making choices. So when you combine it with some new message coming through, maybe something to do with writing, making a dramatic change in some way, and making new choices. So I think this person may have got a bit stuck, and the way I interpret that message is it's like they're saying, look, embrace change, try new things. And if they do have creative projects that are connected with writing, then they would be saying, look, maybe go in that direction. So I don't know if they wrote back, Kevin, because I've not had a chance to see, and I dare not touch the screen. Indeed. But I hope that was helpful for you. Those cards were challenging, but I think there's a message there where they're kind of saying, let go. There's something holding this person back. Maybe it's the grief, which would be understandable. And it's like they're saying, look, change it up a bit, you know, let go. Don't let the grief maybe hold you back. And so I hope that was useful. Would you like the next question?
Sure.
Is there anything you want to add? Yeah.
No, I love it. That they focused again on that last card. They brought it back to the beginning with the card with the heart. So just the three of, I think it was swords.
The three of swords, yeah.
Yeah, just that energy of the heart. So beautiful energy coming for you in that. So, all right.
All right. So now we're going to move on to, let's see here. Let's go for a political one. So we'll do like political, then personal, something like that. Let's see. Oh, some of these questions are quite long. Let me just see one moment. 1 minute. Could you know? Oh, here we are. Even. So this one's here. Okay. Have you heard of this guy called Even Newman? Eve, this is what this is. So at Coronet 2962, they've written Ivan Newman was a Jan 6 capital insurrectionist. He fled the country and was granted political asylum in Belarus. Does he regret his decision? That's quite interesting. This is a total cold read, guys. I've got no idea about this person at all. Ivan Newman, Jan 6 insurrectionist, fled the country, but was granted political asylum in Belarus. Does he regret his decision? Well, the food will be different. That's for sure.
The food will be different. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the food will be different, won't it?
Yeah.
Be very different in Belarus. Newman. I don't know anything about this person, but I do love a cold read. Newman. Fled, given asylum.
Do you want me to go first?
Go for it, yeah.
Because this is cold to me. And so I'm just going to say, I don't pick up on the energy of regret in this moment. So it's not to say in his kind of process of when it happened to where he's at now, but it's not the energy that I'm picking up on in this moment. I did pull some cards though. I got the Go Within, I got the Acceptance, and the Forgiveness card. And so to me, okay, in his reflection in that process, there may have been some of the regret. So another card, and this is just to add to the, this one's curious to me. It's the Straddling Worlds, and it's that energy of going, well, it says wandering between realms, but what I'm getting from it is from the, I think his name was Evan Newman. So from the humanness to that higher self is what they're showing me. So in moments, I think he's had actually some regret where he's at right now, or where this person, if it's not a he, I feel some learning came from it. I feel like this actually helped them grow in ways that they weren't necessarily expecting. But I don't see them remaining there. So it almost feels like something is going to, oh, interesting. So I got the Guilt card. I don't know if this is going to be the, I feel like something's going to shift. And so I don't know what that means, but I see movement with them. So if they've not already, if they're not still there, I could see them being in movement. Curious what you got.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So as you guys know, this is a complete cold read, and I just read the cards. Yeah, I just read what is there. So this guy, just to refresh, so Ivan Newman was a Jan 6 capital insurrectionist, according to Coronet. He fled the country and was granted political asylum in Belarus. Does he regret his decision? Now, the cards I've got, they're really quite interesting. So my instinct is no. He doesn't regret his decision. Why? Because I've got the Empress. Yeah. The Empress card is really about fertility, fecundity. It is a card of literally like the Empress is normally depicted as pregnant. So it means birthing of new things, new opportunities. Many people who pull cards, obviously on YouTube, and you know, obviously there's a lot of us out there. Very often they this card they associate with America, the fertility of America, and I agree. But also for me as well, I associate this card with Mother Russia.
Oh.
So I think it's saying both.
Oh.
We have an American, yeah, like this is almost like America, you know, America the Brave, you know, America the Beautiful. I love that song. But this can also be speaking about Russia as well, who of course Belarus is a very close ally, and I'm sure that's seen as a bit of a coup. So there's that there. The next card I get here, now this is come in the obstacle position, and this is very appropriate because here the King of Swords represents what? The law. So an American has kind of fled to a Russian ally in order to what? Maybe avoid the law or persecution of some kind. Yeah, because this is the obstacle position. Here we can see his nature in the sense of, well, I mean, he's obviously done well to get himself to Belarus. I mean, if you look here, look at this card here, which of course is the it's the 9 of Wands. So this deals with being embattled, yeah, embattled, but it also means someone who's shrewd and resourceful. So if you think of it, I mean, that's quite a big deal to be able to go from being a Jan 6 insurrectionist, where almost all of them were being locked up, to being in exile in Belarus. But it may also show as well, maybe it's not so easy over there. If we look here, we get the 3 of Pentacles. When it's the right way up, it talks about collaboration, you know, joining with people on a shared plan and objective. Guess what? It came reversed.
Oh.
When it's reversed, it can mean corruption, money changing hands. It can mean dark money. Oh. Isn't that interesting? So we can see here an insurrectionist has fled to Belarus, been given asylum, and he's probably working closely with the authorities. And the outcome card for him is the Fool. So there's different ways of interpreting this. You could just say it as foolish if we wanted to take it literally, but I think it's a bit more than that in this case. The Fool is about taking bold new chances and believing that the universe is going to catch you. So for him, in many ways, when we put that all together, this has been a huge leap of faith. Yeah, he knew, I think, that if he stayed, yeah, because this is him doing the insurrection, yeah, the battle and all that kind of stuff. If he stayed, he'd probably been arrested, just like all the others. So as an American, he's taken a punt. He's taken a chance on Mother Russia, yeah, and it's a huge leap of faith. So I don't think he regrets his decision, but I think there are elements where he would regret, but there's no turning back, not with the Fool as the outcome card. He's gone for it.
Interesting.
Anything to add to that, Kevin?
No, I think that's it. Yeah. That's it. Well, you know what? Actually, yes, there is. Because, you know, in that last card with like that, whatever that is over the shoulder, and it's like, to me, that's the movement part of it. Something does not feel stable in the energy of where they're at. And that, like, I'm leaving home or I'm on the move again. That's what's standing out to me. So I think this is a to be continued. I
think so.
It's curious what this is.
And it's funny you should mention that, because the Fool carries on the stick what we call in the old style English swaddling, or not swaddling. It's all of his clothes and his belongings. So the Fool card is about movement, embarking on journeys. So you're right, he may not stay there, but I mean, what are his choices? It's either Belarus or Russia, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
I think I prefer Belarus, to be honest. Yeah. So shall we do, are we ready for the next question?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's do another personal question. Let's see here, 1 minute. Here we are. So this has come in from Heidi. So at Heidi 9705. So she says, good day to you. If personal questions are allowed, she's asked, will I be getting a union artist job in the animation industry again? And then they say soon, question mark, or should I give it up, question mark. And they said their date of birth is 1964 and they're from Honolulu. I won't be doing any live thingamajigs on this one because it can actually be quite stressful. And I need to be prepared in advance with the software open. But what do you reckon? What are your hits?
Yeah, instantly, I love this. This one's really simple for me. I got September is what I heard, and I pulled this card before I heard the second and third kind of part of that question. So this was to the first part. Will you get the job in that specific area? I got the yes card. And just to back up the September, I got within a month. So it feels really good. And it's not to say that you can't move in another direction, but the potential for you to secure a job in that specific I can't even reiterate what you called it.
Animation. I think it was the world of animation.
It was a big yes for me. So,
wow, my goodness, wow, Heidi, God, that's a very positive endorsement. Let's see, let's see what cards I've got, because you know, sometimes my cards can be very dramatic. Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. So here, I think this is Heidi here. Queen of Pentacles. Here she is looking at that coin. Yeah, very, very carefully. So that shows Heidi's investment in the outcome, obviously, because you know she's probably been in the industry for a while, left for a while. Maybe she became a mum or something like that, or had responsibilities, because the Queen of Pentacles is about groundedness, earthiness, resources, managing things, managing the resources. So this is Heidi thinking like, I think this is her investment in her dream and wanting to get back into the industry. Now the obstacle card, look, the Seven of Cups is back. Yeah, the Seven of Cups is back. So again, this can talk about obviously lots of choices to be made and stuff like that, but can also deal with illusions and delusions. So I think there is an inner conflict within Heidi as to be like, am I fooling myself? Can I really do this, etc.? So I think there's some self-doubt there, some self-doubt. But let's not forget, this card is also about choices. So it shows, aha, this person has got options. Yeah, it doesn't even necessarily have to be this thing. I mean, Kevin's cards are very, very positive. So let's hope that plays out. But it's showing that there's options there. If we look here, we have got the King of Pentacles. So she's got the King and the Queen both show up. Now that's quite significant because this is talking about resources. And the King of Pentacles has turned up in the middle. So could this mean an increase in her resources? I'm assuming it's a her because it does say Heidi here, but whoever you are, but I'm going to call you Heidi because that's all that says there. Oh, you know, actually, she's actually written Heidi at the end. Sorry. Of the question. So maybe this is an increase in resources. Either way, Heidi's looking to stabilize her financial future. The King of Pentacles is about, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a male. This is someone who is working hard to secure their finances and their legacy. Yeah. But look, change is a coming.
Interesting.
Now, this means there is an unexpected element here, Heidi, an unexpected element. I have a feeling that you're going to get a job, but it may not be exactly what you expected. Yeah, because this is what the card deals with: sudden shock, surprises, but change. But look, the outcome card here is the Knight of Cups, which means an offer. Being made an offer, a slightly romantic offer as well. So it looks like you're going to be made some kind of offer, but there might be, what my cards are saying, there might be a twist to it, or it might come from an unexpected direction. Anything else you want to add to that?
I got a big hit on that. Two things that you said, the part about the dream, a part of her dreams, I think that energy of the self-doubt is in there. And so I heard to pull a card, and it was the dream card. And then in that tower moment, I heard to pull another card in it, and it's the treasures hidden in the shadows. And so I think that it's there for you. And that energy of that twist feels, it's almost like this element of surprise for you, that you surprise yourself that you're getting it. Allow that to come in. It's there for you. I feel really good about this one. I think we're going to get an update, and it's going to be like, congratulations.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of energy of the new. It's like she's on the cusp of a breakthrough. So Heidi, keep going, keep going, and see what happens. But it could be something. It could even be something from the past. And the reason why I say that is because so many planets are going to be retrograde in early September. So everything is review, revise, reassess, but people tend to come back from the past. So it could be even an old contact, someone she used to know, that could be a surprise element. And they're like, oh my God, I've just heard from, do you know what I mean? So either way, the energy is looking pretty good. Let's see. This one, let's see here. So that was a personal question there. Let's go political again. And this one's quite interesting. This one has come in from @PamH5635. And they say, hi, Hogarth and Kevin. When do you see Biden restoring the Rose Garden?
Oh.
Because, you know, Melania, I think she...
At the
White House, she shot the whole lot of stuff. I think she had it all ripped out. I mean, come on, really? Ripping out a rose garden, surely that tells you a lot, doesn't it? Will Biden restore the rose garden?
Oh, I can hear okay, interesting. They're already talking about it. So I don't know if they have someone like commission lining up. Oh, interesting. This harvest, kind of manifesting dreams, is that energy of nature. It's a yes for me that it will be done. This is an interesting set of cards. The forgiveness, the self-esteem, and surrender. And that feels like it's into, is it Melania? Is that her name?
She's the Trump's wife. So when she was first lady, she tore out the rose garden.
Yeah. Timeline. I see it's like they're mapping it out. You know that, what's that thing called? I might butcher this, but like Sim City, where it's like you're creating, I feel like it's being done. It's being done. Oh, that's interesting. Within 3 months, it could start, but that's an interesting time of year to start. But yeah, it's a yes for me.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to read my cards, and as usual, they're quite dramatic. Why do I get such dramatic cards? Major arcana, this, that, and the other. But I just read what's here. Now, isn't it interesting?
It makes sense of what I've said.
Well, now here I get the Lover's card. So in many ways, this is symbolizing the whole reading. And of course, what are roses associated with? They're associated with love. Of course, the rose garden. But here the Lovers also speaks about important choices to be made and choices of consequence. So it means consequential choices. So I agree with Kevin. They might be looking at plans, to kind of get things drawn up, maybe to bring back that energy again, that Venusian energy, because the rose is associated with Venus, planet of love and relationships, and Venus is currently retrograde at the moment. So that means review, revise, reassess. So I think they're certainly having a little look, because who doesn't like roses? But looky here, the obstacle card in a 5-card spread is the second one, and here the obstacle is the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, What does that tell me? What it tells me is they might be making plans, but there may be some kind of unforeseen event that could alter those plans. Yeah. Because look, it's the Wheel of Fortune and it's in the obstacle position. So the only time that a Wheel of Fortune could be an obstacle if it's something unexpected happens. Then if we look here, there's the Two of Pentacles. So it looks like there's a juggling, a balancing act. So it could be that they commission the Rose Garden. There's maybe some unforeseen event that happens that makes them juggle. Two of Pentacles. Yeah. Here, then there is here now, when the card's the right way up, this can mean battling on the hilltop, battling on the hilltop. But here, when it's reversed, there is still that element there of battling, but there can be a feeling of a bit of overwhelm as well, or somehow reaching out and trying to get support for something. Well, look, my outcome card here is the Five of Cups. Now you can see not the most positive card to have as the outcome. So I think they are working on the Rose Garden. I think the plans want to be executed, but there's something unexpected that happens, which is beyond people's control, because in September, we will have 6 planets retrograde and Venus standing still. So it doesn't mean the Rose Garden won't happen. I think it can happen. The plans might be quite advanced, but there's something here with the Wheel of Fortune intervening, and particularly as well with this juggling card. Yeah. So there's an unexpected element there. So I think, Kevin, you're picking up on that energy. I think those plans are there, but something might scupper the plans and they might be delayed.
You know what's interesting? There's a theme tonight about choices, and choices for me is about, I attach it to the number 5, and there was the 5 in that one, and someone tonight actually said 555, and this is all coming out. So as you're talking, they're like, pull this card and from this specific deck that I haven't used, and it's the number 5 card, and it's clearing out the old. And look at, interesting enough, floating in the water is a rose. And now,
you're joking. Does it have? I can't see it. Oh,
and what's interesting about that, I almost wonder if that little change has, because I was thinking this before and I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense, but this was me getting in the way and now I'm getting out of the way. If they might have to change the location of where it was and where it will be is one of the little potentials in there.
Yeah, there's something unexpected there, because you could see with all the cards that came out, there's like they make the plans and then there's a twist.
Yeah,
something happens and then they have to, because the Two of Pentacles is about juggling as well, juggling, making plans, and the sea is stormy behind, it just makes me think of that more, because I know that there's these big retrogrades that are already happening, and in September it's gonna be high watermark. Trust me.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Shall we go back in for a personal question?
Sounds
Kevin?
good. Sounds good.
Let's see here. So let's see. Oh, okay. This is interesting. So, this is coming from Stories by the Numbers. I know who you are. So she's asked, any messages from my mom? Yeah, from her mom, who sadly passed away recently this year. And there's also, what's the global financial temperature for the rest of the year going to be like? Is it a good time to invest in stocks? So let's do the messages from mom, and then let's answer that financial one, because I think a lot of people would like to know that.
It's interesting. I feel like because I'm going back to the garden, and so the flowers, I didn't hear rose, but I heard flowers around the energy. Can you tell me this lady, is it Amy, did you say?
No, this is this person is, her email is Stories by the Numbers, but I know I know who she is, and
Oh,
her mum did pass earlier this year. But keep going with the flowers and what you were talking about.
And so maybe the A name as well, because I heard Amy, and I don't know if that's you or someone else connected to you, but the A name, also the D name in connection to you. The month of May was significant, so a highlight of the month of May. And interesting, it's so beautiful. I'll take this as the message for you. You are worth it. And so it feels like you've had this energy of challenge in recent, and not only with, of course, the loss of your mother, but also her just being in recognition of what you're going through as well. So reminding you that you're worth it. You're definitely worth it. So I said the D name, but David also is, I don't know if there's another D name, but also David is another name I'm hearing. So if you're here in the chat, let us know. It's hard to mediumship and know, but I trust in the info. So hopefully that resonates with you.
Well, what I can confirm for you, flowers is a big theme.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful.
Flowers, the mother adored flowers. Yeah. And this person has recently bought a lot of flowers as well for the home. And when we were talking, that's one of the things we spoke about was the mother's love for flowers. So when you picked up on the flowers thing straight away, I was like, this guy's good. Perfect. I will show you the cards that I've got, and then we'll look at that financial sort of like reading, because I think quite a lot of people will be quite interested to see what's happening with the economy. Mm-hmm. So here, so I've got the page. I've got the Page of Cups. Now, sometimes people who know me see me reading tarot. Sometimes I call this stinky fish. Yeah. Stinky fish. But really, it means surprises. It can mean a surprise message. Yeah, it can mean a surprise message. So I would say to this person, you might be getting a surprise message coming to you, and I think that might be something your mum's trying to give you a heads up on. Yeah, so there's some kind of message that's coming to you, maybe in the next few weeks or so. Here we see in the obstacle position, we've got the this is the 9 of Cups, which is about wish fulfillment, but here it's turned up reversed. So this is speaking again about what? Disappointment. Yeah, maybe things not quite working out and just not feeling so great, because of course the cup suite are always about emotions, but again, that would make sense. If someone is grieving, then it's not going to be all happy, do you know what I mean? Joy. If we see here a bit of internal conflict and struggle, yeah, bit of internal conflict and struggle, and I know that this person is missing their mother as well, but this is normal. Yeah, it's normal to have conflicted feelings, particularly when you're grieving, and it is a process. You know, I lost my mother years ago, and let me just tell you, it takes, even though it's over 20 years ago, it takes a very long time. It just does. Yeah, it just does. So keep putting one foot in front of the other. Here we've got the, what's this? This is the Judgment card in reverse. So here, really the Judgment card, when it's the right way up, is about mea culpa. It's about moving on, and it's about self-forgiveness and stuff like this. But here it's turned up reversed. So what this suggests to me is, if there are feelings of guilt in any way about what may have happened around the circumstances when the mother passed, you're going to have to forgive yourself. Yeah, you've got to be less, because literally the Judgment card reverse can literally mean a harsh judgment. So this person might be judging themselves very harshly when they're reflecting on everything that happened. But when we lose people, you know, grief and stuff like that, a lot of stuff happens that we don't necessarily plan for or expect. Yeah. However, look at the outcome card. Very positive. So here we see it's the 9 of Pentacles, and this is like the hostess with the mostess. Yes, this is the self-sufficient woman who is able to support herself and move confidently through life. So although you've had these choppy moments, yeah, these struggles, You might be getting an unusual message coming to you soon, or some kind of feedback. Don't punish yourself too much, because ultimately it's going to be okay and it's going to be all good. So this is a very positive card for it to finish on. So there you go. Anything you'd like to add to that, Kevin?
No, that's it.
Right. Well, I think we've got time. Let's have a look. Shall we? How about, Kevin? Are you able to scroll through the comments, or is it just me?
No, I can. Yeah. Do we want to answer that second part of it, or
say again? Oh, yes, that was it. Forgive me.
Yeah.
I knew it was...
It's funny because I think that last card, I wonder if that's blending into.
Yes.
And it's interesting because I pulled a last card and it kind of. So yeah. Anyways, if you want to do that,
you're absolutely right. No, I think that would be good. So let's look at the economy. Let's look at the economy. Let's see. What was the question? Was it about? Let's see. So this is the collective question. What's the global financial temperature for the rest of the year going to be like? Is it a good time to invest in stocks? Well, what I can say from what I know already, when the markets are more volatile and unpredictable, like they've been of late, it is easier to make more money, but also the gains can also increase as well, because you get what? Volatility.
Yeah.
But when the market's going up and down, that's when you've got the most opportunities, because you can bet either way. So there's that. But let's just see what the cards and what Spirit has to say. The economy. What's the economy like?
So the last card that I pulled in the energy of just around your mom, and I feel like she had interest in this as well, was the success card. And again, the change. I'm just going to show you all of them. I got the breakthrough card, help is on the way, and transformation. And to me, this does, of course, for entertainment purposes only, there's always risk involved. It feels like you have clear perspective and a certain sense of energy around freedom to take the risk. And it does feel in the choices, because I feel it's very thorough in your approach. So your financial advisor, that kind of support, it does feel successful in your choices. And for some reason, I don't know if you'd understand, but your mom smiles at this. There's some energy of support in that. And of course, you have your own free will, no pressure, but it does feel good. So on a global...
well, I think she might be asking about America primarily. Okay. I imagine, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, sure, no problem. All right, my one's more directly on the economy part of it, and we've got almost 370 with us live. Well, actually, it's gone to 370 now. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate it, and hit the like and subscribe and thumbs up and all that jazz. Okay, so what have I got for the US economy? 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands. So this is quite an interesting card for me to get, because overall the US economy is apparently doing very well. Yeah, Bidenomics seems to be working out, interest is coming down, etc. Certainly a lot lower than in my own country, yeah, where the Tory party are just an absolute bunch of, I can't even say, they're not very good, let's put it that way. But see, so here it looks like there might be a bit of hard work and effort coming up. Now, remember these retrogrades, guys. 6 on the 5th of September, 6 planets will be retrograde. So it's going to be Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury, all retrograde, and Venus will be standing still. Saturn, Jupiter, and Venus all deal with money and the economy.
Oh.
Yeah, they just are. I'm not trying to spook anyone or whatever. That's just what they represent. And I have to mention that, because look, So there might be an element where towards maybe from the fall, there might be something that might adjust the movement of the economy, but we know it's all doing good for now. Let's just hope it's just a bit of graft or what have you. But if we look here, we've got the 5 of Swords, and this can mean an abuse of power and stuff like that. And this is turning up in the obstacle position. You know that who this makes me think of straight away? It makes me think of the GOP. Yeah. I have a feeling they might be trying to stick a spanner in the works, and they might be doing things, if not the debt ceiling, you know, there's the debt ceiling, but there's that payment. There's that thing they have to, so everyone gets paid as well. I mean, there's the debt ceiling, but there's something that happens if you don't get it right, the government shuts down or something like that. I can't remember what it is. Maybe it is connected with the debt ceiling. But anyway, I have a feeling that there might be an element of sabotage here. This could be the GOP, or it could be ne'er-do-wells that start stirring things up. Or maybe there's some kind of event. If we look here, got the Ace of Pentacles. How appropriate, yeah, because it deals with money and stuff like that. But this is reversed. So there might be an element here of fool's gold. So what that suggests to me is there might be elements of the economy that maybe it might be over-egged or over-inflated. I also know as well there's a lot of stuff changing with Airbnb properties, where a lot of those might have to start coming back on the market because they're not making money. So do you see here, this is like wealth and abundance, and if we just take it that way, then it can mean the opposite. Yeah. However, look, the Victory card turns up. Isn't this interesting? So it opens with the 10 of Wands, but here we have the Victory card. So what this says to me is maybe there is some element of struggle because maybe the events happen, or the GOP put in their mishegas and their abuse of power, which on the surface seems to affect the money. But then maybe the market rallies. Maybe Biden comes out with some policy, or some leader comes out with a policy that can help. Yeah. And then here we've got the 6 of Cups in reverse. And this card really is about nostalgia. So what I get the sense is that the economy is going to have to change, but a lot of people may be clinging to the past. So I know that Biden's got a big green agenda coming up. So we might see a little bit of backlash where a lot of people want to stick with the oil and the coal. Just saying. So it looks like there might be a challenge, but hopefully it will be overcome. I can only read what I've got. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that, Kevin?
No, nothing else.
All right. So if we look at the time, oh my gosh, Kevin, the time is almost gone. Shall we take one?
Sure.
Shall we take a question from some of your people, and then we'll close up?
I had a question for you too. Did you? Because I think this was in one of your. Was August the month that you had mentioned about there'd be a lot of divorce and separation? Did you?
Oh yeah. There could be things like that, legalities as well. Okay. Yeah, because Venus is going backwards.
Oh, okay, because the Canadian Prime Minister today, because I was like, as soon as I heard about it, I was like, I think Hogarths said something about in the astrology that the Canadian Prime Minister announced that him and his wife are separating today.
Whoa!
So I just thought I'd share that because I remembered that you had said it for the month of August, according to is Pluto involved in that or no? Did I make that up?
Pluto is in sidereal Capricorn at the moment. Venus is in sidereal Leo. And guess what? Leo is the sign of presidents and leadership.
Oh, okay.
Venus in a man's chart represents the wife, but she's the indicator of all relationships. So a leader, a global leader, has just announced separation from his wife, and Venus was slowing down throughout late June, but once we hit or early July, she was starting to slow down, but she officially went retrograde on the 22nd of July. So now that energy, of course, is kicking in. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So watch out for that, folks. Yeah, very interesting.
What I noticed a lot of people too asking was about the upcoming Virgo energy. Can we maybe end on that?
Sure.
Like, I mean, I saw it several times in your chat and in mine. So I thought,
okay, let's look at that. So when they say the upcoming Virgo energy, did they add anything else to that?
Let's see the last one. If someone could rewrite it, I missed it. Let's double check.
Do you know what? I think I know what they might mean. I've just got to go. I've just got to go with it in terms of they're asking about Virgo energy. It's very interesting. Around about the end of August, I think it's around, I can't remember the date exactly, late August, planet Mars is going to move into sidereal Virgo. Yep, sidereal Virgo. And Virgo deals with health and healing and overcoming obstacles. Oh. Yeah. So there could be a lot going on. And again, this is also out. All those big retrogrades that I mentioned, apart from the sun and the moon, which are always direct, the nodes of the moon are always retrograde. Mars is the only planet going direct at that time. And it's going to be in Virgo. So I think there's going to be a big news around things to do with health and healing.
Okay.
I hope some astrologers are saying, oh, could this be a return of COVID or something else? And they're talking about this thing with ticks and, you know, getting this kind of stuff. But, you know, that story's actually been around for a while, actually. The way I see it is I think there's going to be big news in regards to health and healing and stuff like that. So we could have some kind of breakthrough in regards to health and healing. Or we could have people that are involved in health and healing being very prominently in the news. Yeah. There may even be something in there to do with war and conflict as well, because Mars is a planet of war after all. Okay. Yeah, and aggression. So I think maybe that's where the energy is going. So watch this space, folks. But I think there's going to be big news in the fall as well about health, healing, things to do with war. Hopefully some maybe positive news in Ukraine. Or maybe something else kicks off, but that will be there in the theme. So that's the best I can answer.
I love that. Well, I mean, that's interesting because at the beginning when I shared about studying the Akashic records, my guides were very clear that I was going to be able to be witness, that we are going to be able to be witness healing in the energy of like miracle, where it's like the instantaneous healings that will occur. We won't have to spend years and years and years. So that energy, I feel, is very. I feel it's a very positive. Yeah, the magician.
I just split the deck and look.
That's awesome. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big in a great way. So that feels really good.
And you know, when you just said that, I also just got a hit as well. It might be stuff to do with energy and light, maybe sound. But there's something which it's different. It's something very, very different, and it could be something that may even affect or impact humanity in a big way when I tune into that energy of what you've just said.
Yeah.
And before we go, did you know, Kevin, that in Vedic astrology, or in astrology, the Akashic records are also associated with the moon?
Okay.
So in Vedic astrology, they see the moon as the collective hard drive for everyone's memories. So I just wanted to share that with you.
I've heard that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I've heard it. Fascinating. I just wanted to say hello to Sheila. Celtic Sheila was in the chat. Nice to see you.
Oh, Sheila. Yeah. Sheila. We need to do another collab. Yeah. Oh my God. You sent me an email and I've just been like, emails under the bus. We had a brilliant time last time. Thank you, Sheila. So yes, we should do another collab. And wouldn't it be nice if the three of us did a collab? Don't you reckon, Kevin?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That'd be a good one, wouldn't it? Me and Sheila. How about that? We'll have to discuss off camera how we'll get that done. But I think that would be a hoot. We had such a giggle last time when we collabed. We were cracking up. That show was so funny.
That's awesome.
But the time has gone. Kevin, it's gone in the flash. We've already 4 minutes over. So folks, we're going to have to call it a day there. Thank you for so many of you joining us this Wednesday evening. Kevin, it was a pleasure. Of course, we'll do this again soon. Let's talk off camera. And for everyone that joined us, thank you so much. And I hope we were able to answer your questions as well. So thank you for joining us. It's great fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Hogarth. Thanks, everybody.
Problem.
We'll see you again.
Soon, folks. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.